Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to try to explain how you can get within Power BI a calendar that you can play with in order to filter automatically the data of your given report. So the key thing to understand is like you need to have some dates within your report, such as the dates that you can see over here. And if you don't have them, you won't be able to use any calendar, date picker or slicer, however you are naming them. So to give you an idea, if I play with this given report, in this given report, if I go for HTML, for example, you're gonna see that you get the date over here. So typically this report, you will be able to play with it within Microsoft Power BI. But then if you take this given report with some data, oops. Okay, so this given report, if I go down below and if I export it, okay, so you see that there is no date. As there is no date, well, there's no, let's say, filter possibilities for Power BI to be able to provide you with the given report. So let's imagine that I wanted to get, for example, the pages report similar to this one with the date. What I need to do is that I need to use this plugin named custom report. In this given plugin, I need to click over here in manage report. I need to create a new report, and then I need to add the date. Probably first will be the best option. So note that this is only possible for people who have Matomo on-premise with the custom report premium feature. For the cloud, they need to use a combination of two dimensions, which is I guess the month and the year, or the date of the day plus the month. And then they pick up over here page URL, okay, page URL. And you get your report. So let's say URL is it. I mean, you can call it page URL after all, page URL. And then by doing so, what's going to happen is like you will get the date. So unfortunately, I don't have any information for this given report, but if I guess, go back over here, maybe if I select a time period, which is like last week. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to take a report that I created previously, which will probably make more sense. So this one. So in this report, as you can see, I ask for the time. I ask as well for the reference name, and I asked as well for the desktop. And as a result, I get my full report. So once you get this given report, which is finished, so in my case, just for the sake of this example, I'm going to voluntarily force the data to be repopulated so that you can clearly see that it's working with the given example that, that I'm showing you. So you just reprocess all the data. Okay. It's going to be done in some seconds. Okay, all good. I'm going to create a token. I will explain you why I'm doing this in a minute. So just going to go over here. Just going to create a new token that I'm just going to call. I could call whatever name I want, but in my case, I prefer to, let's say, call it YouTube tutorial. So okay, so now I get my token, and normally if things are going as expected, I should get my page URL report, which is over here with the data, I guess, which have been populated for the month of June, let's say. Okay, so now I get exactly the report that I wanted. So in my case, I will probably need for a full year in order to have enough enough data to show. So what's going to happen after is that it's going to give me a URL that I will be able to use within Power BI. So that's typically what I'm going to do right now. So let's remove this example that I was playing with before. And then I'm going to grab some data. So for this, I just need this to finish to populate the data. So maybe I can force it a little bit like this. Let's see. So what is important over here is the time period that you're going to take. You need to take an amount which include the date in the future. If not, the filter is not going to work properly. So here, that's the reason why I'm taking 2024. I could have done it otherwise by picking up a date range, saying from the 1st of January to a date in the future. And the date in the future, I can force it within the URL. Okay, so once it will have finished to archive the report, I will be able to grab it. So maybe for the, okay, finished. Okay, perfect. So here I get my report. So in my case, I tend to say I prefer to go for JSON. I tend to go for a flat report, and then you get your export URL, which is over here. So you just need to copy this URL, which include everything you want, except that you want here to be -1 because you not want only the 10 rows, but you want all of them. So here I can copy that out, and then I can go within Power BI. Then I ask for a get of the data. That's a web request, which is going to be made to the server of my website. Then you paste the URL over here, and then you take your token. In my case, that was the one. Okay, so you go back over here, you change your token there. Okay, and then you press OK. So here what's gonna happen is like the data are gonna be fetched. So they couldn't authentify. Okay. That's strange. So maybe I didn't use proper request. So let's. So this is normally good, but let's see if I remove this part. And if I go back over here, so I just copy it. It starts by a 0 and finish by a 7. Okay. It starts by a 0 and finish by a 7. I guess that's because it needs to be index.php. Okay, use my current credential. This is good. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna test my request first. So if I go back over here and I copy that out, I put it here, and if I take back my token and that I put it here, normally the data feed should appear if the request is correct. Okay, that's super interesting. Unable to, it's either invalid. So I guess that's because I need to validate it. And if that's the case, okay, so I guess that what it disliked is like it was not under apps. So YouTube v2, so untick this checkbox, And I guess this time it should work. Okay, perfect. So you go back over here. So you get the data. It's going to be web. You paste it here. You press OK. So what it's going to do here is it's going to fetch the data. So of course, if you didn't put a date in the future, it won't be able to make a proper filter. So as I said, either take a year or either take a custom date range with a date like in 2030. Okay, so then you're going to get this report, so you can close and copy it, because that's typically what you were looking for. You can of course turn it differently. Here I can see that I get my action date straight away, so that's fine by me. Now it's gonna load the report. Okay, so I'm getting my report loaded. I'm gonna take that's gonna be a table report, for example, and in my table report I want to use let's say, well, I'm gonna make it identical as the one that I just had. Okay, so now we have our report, and as you can see, we have the dates that we are looking for. So after this, if you want now to filter your report, you need to pick up this one named a slicer. Then once the slicer is on, so in my case, sorry for that, oops. Okay, so this is my report. This is the slicer. So the slicer, I want to play with the date. So the date looks like, go up. Okay, well, I'm going to try to do it blindly. So action page visit, core home label. So in my case, I guess it's kind of in between. That should be the one. Okay, and as you can see now, I'm getting a calendar. So I can play with the calendar either by using this bar, and as you can see, the data will be edited accordingly. Or let's say, imagine that I just want the 1st of January to the 31 of January. So I can just go over here and say the 31st of January. And I'm just going to get the 31st of January. So as you can see here, all the dates are in January. So just to sum it up, so you need to create a custom report in which you will get the date. Once you have this custom report, then you can use the slicer over here in order to be able to add this given calendar, so that you can start to play with and get the report according to what you expect.